This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 25th day of January in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Vice President Jagdeo today justified the government's move to increase the country's debt ceiling and for borrowing large sums from multilateral agencies to fund the government projects. Addressing a press conference this afternoon, Mr. Jagdeo said the government's borrowing strategy is one which will be focusing heavily on investments for the country.
So you borrow to invest. If you borrow to eat, it's bad. If you borrow to invest, and the investment in the future will increase your income or save you expenditure, like the gas to energy project will, then it's a good investment. It enhances the capacity of the country, improves people's lives.
Against that backdrop, the Vice President was asked whether the country will be burdened in the future to repay the debts, since there has been a spike in global interest rates over the past few years. But the Vice President said the global rise in interest rates for debts has not affected Guyana, because the country's loans are fixed interest loans.
We made it clear that what our borrowing will focus on. And our borrowing will focus on the capital projects. And the last time I outlined in which sectors. So I went on to speak about the $660 million from Exim Bank that will come in, and that even if we raise the debt ceiling to the level that it would be raised, it doesn't mean we have to borrow up to that level. That it is just to give us room should we have to do so.
Mr. Jagdeo also said that a smaller share of the country's revenue is going towards debts, and so in that light, the debts are sustainable. But further than that, he also said, should there be a shortfall in revenue at any time, the government can still sustain its debts because many of the projects to be funded are not recurring projects.
So when the road is built, it's done. So you don't have to the following year make that expenditure again, or the bridge, or the power plant. So that is one way of ensuring that we don't become like a Venezuela or many of the other countries. What many of those countries did, they splurged on the recurrent budget. So when the shortfall of revenue came about, and inevitably that will happen, they could not sustain those expenses in the long run.
About 40% of this year's $1.1 trillion budget is expected to be funded through loans. More news coming up in just a moment.
My lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look, the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Thursday, February 22nd, we're heading to the biggest wet fed of MASH, Splash-O-Mani 2024 at the Guyana National Stadium. Nuff Water, Pulse, Nuff Soca. The night before the holiday, Soca star Problem Child. Ola Tunji.
Is a party in the engine.
Splash-O-Mani, the official wet fed of MASH 2024. Problem Child, Olatunji, and more to be added. Come, let's soak you down in water and soca. Early bird tickets $3,000. Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment.
your time to win big. The Massey Stores Christmas Jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Opposition firebrand Member of Parliament Sherrod Duncan did not mince words today when he stood to debate the national budget, repeatedly telling the National Assembly that they should be fair, as he sought to set the record straight on the genesis of the funding behind the development projects currently unfolding in the country. From the start of his presentation, Mr. Duncan reminded the National Assembly that the original production sharing agreement between the government of Guyana and the U.S. oil giant ExxonMobil was originally signed in 1999, and constant incursions by Venezuela into Guyana's exclusive economic zone had prevented the country from benefiting from its oil and gas resources there. He said it was former President David Granger who 2 years after the PSA was revised, asked the UN through the Secretary General to have the border controversy resolved at the level of the International Court. In January 2018, the controversy was successfully placed before the International Court of Justice, and by December of 2019, Guyana started pumping for oil. Mr. Duncan told the National Assembly that while the PP Civic administration was in office between 1992 and 2015, it was not until its return to office in 2020 that it was able to fund mega projects such as the gas-to-energy project, the new Demerara Harbor Bridge project, and the 4-lane road projects on both the east coast and east banks of Demerara, using revenue from the oil and gas industry.
Let us be fair. You are benefiting from the brilliance of David Arthur Granger and those ministers that served with him. Let us be fair.
Duncan also reminded that the original contract contained a royalty of 1%, and the revised PSA of 2016, the royalty was increased to 2%. He said the People's Progressive Party Civic in the lead-up to the 2020 elections had vowed to amend the contract to allow for a high percentage of royalty. However, despite it being a manifesto promise, the administration is still to make good on that promise.
3.5 years later, you have not changed a word. You have not changed a dot. You know why? Because the deal's sweet to fund all of your projects. Let us be fair. Sanctity of contracts. We have now gone behind that sacred veil, and you have declared sanctity of contract. You can't fulfill your promise that you have said in your campaign manifesto. It was a bad deal because you were Donald Trump and you could get a better deal. You are the deal maker. Well, change the contract.
Further, Duncan told the National Assembly that it was the David Granger administration that had initiated studies on the construction of the gas-to-energy project and the new Harbor Bridge. However, he admitted that the administration at the time did not have the money to complete the projects. He also urged the government to be honest about the state of the sugar industry. Although being built out by millions of dollars and billions of dollars, he said the records would show that Ghana Sugar Corporation is bankrupt. Duncan also accused the government of breaking down the guardrails of democracy. He cited amendments to the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act and the initial appointment of Member of Parliament Onish Waldron, who sat as a dual citizen in the House, in violation of the Constitution. The appointment of the parliamentary secretaries, he said, was no different, and their appointments too were also deemed unconstitutional by the courts. Region 10 members of Parliament German Figuera and Devin Sears on Wednesday put forward a strong case to the National Assembly for greater investments to be made in Region 10, particularly in the areas of health, education, infrastructure, agriculture, housing and water, and business and finance. MP Figuera said even as the National Assembly met on Wednesday, the hospitals and health centers in Region 10 were without critical drugs, citing medication for diabetic patients as an example. Further, he told the National Assembly that it was unfortunate that the government is appealing the High Court's ruling that a deduction of payments for nurses who are involved in the protests over the working conditions was unlawful. He said the unjustified and heartless challenge should be aborted. In the area of agriculture, MP Figuera said farmers in the region need more than lip service and piecemeal interventions. According to him, the paltry increase of $7 million for the agriculture sector in the region is inadequate.
Given the availability of arable lands and the general potential of this sector, purpose-driven policies for agriculture in Region 10 can derive real solutions for the damning effects of high cost of living by simply empowering residents to grow more food while simultaneously addressing the challenges of unemployment of our youth. The government must incentivize farmers to put landowners to work and to attract youths to the land as an attractive mainstream livelihood.
The opposition member of parliament said there is no doubt that the district can make a significant contribution to the achievement of food security nationally and the reduction of imports regionally by 2025. However, he said while many Londoners have leased lands, they do not have the resources to develop those lands sustainably.
Mr. Speaker, Budget 2024 can do much more to provide than subsidize fertilizers to farmers and a few dozen chickens to PPP supporters in the region. We need our farmers and leaseholders in West Utuka, Millie's Hideout, Wizrock, Rockstone, Ichuni, and Kokwani to have not only access roads to their lands and markets, but access to machinery to clear those lands, access to water, drainage and irrigation, organic seeds, pesticides and grants. Yes, sizable grants and low-interest special facility loans, thus empowering the region to make a meaningful contribution to this sector. Mr. Speaker, the government must give the same support given to farmers in Parika, Regions 1, 3, 5, 6, and 9.
He said with funds from this year's budget, the region could be well on its way to becoming a transshipment commercial hub.
Mr. Speaker, we will no longer accept just being a gateway to the interior and to Brazil. Where people and businesses pass through to other destinations. We want the destination. We want to be that destination, Mr. Speaker, for commerce, trade, tourism, and entertainment. No other region in this country is more connected to Guyana than Region 10, the Heartland region, where all three of our main rivers flow. The Heartland in which we can access 8 of our 10 administrative regions.
He noted on the corridor to Brazil, there is need for an industrial duty-free zone to be established, container terminals, assembling plants, warehouses, cottage industries, small, medium and large-scale manufacturing industries to allow for sustained jobs to be created. He also made a case for the Linden Enterprise Network to receive the necessary funds to finance businesses in the region, noting that the $50 million budgeted for the financial institution would only cover operational costs. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament Devin Sears, in his contribution to the national budget debates, said the government continues to place its foot on the neck of Region 10 by politically victimizing its people. This, he said, is reflective in the allocations to the region.
Mr. Speaker, the devil is in the details. And after deciphering this massive $1 trillion budget, the modus operandi of the PPP remains the same. Defund the opposition majority regional democratic councils so that central government can swoop in and look good and use this as a political ploy. Mr. Speaker, the facts don't lie, and I have it right here. For over the 3 years, Region 10's capital in budgetary allocation was the lowest in terms of increase. When we look at Region 2, which supposedly is their stronghold, it increased by 42.9%, but Region 10 only received over the last 3 years an increase of 25.4%.
Mr. Sears said the region deserves better, including the construction of 4-lane roads as is being done elsewhere. However, he noted the reality is that this year, major road networks in Region 10 will not undergo any major rehabilitation thanks to the government. Similarly, he said the 11 indigenous villages in the region will also not benefit from any transformative project. The region, he stressed, deserves much better.
Twice the fun, twice the thrill. On your next trip with Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama and enjoy 2 vacations in one at no additional airfare. Because to live life at its fullest, first you have to stop. So next time you fly Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama at no additional airfare.
Stock the finest in the country, both ceramic and porcelain, ties and chandeliers you'll see while you shop around stress-free. Shopping smooth and calm, providing you with quality to match your style that's so unique. Mima Decor.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo, from its pristine rivers to its abundant resources. It's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Let's tell you now that Minister of Local Government and former Public Service Minister Sonia Parag believes the PP Civic government has been making moves to professionalize and develop the public service while improving the lives of public servants since 2020. In defending the recent 6.5% salary increase for public servants, Minister Parag said the salary increases have been consistent across the board under the current government, as more training and educational opportunities have also been made available.
This government has consistently given a salary increase across the board to all public servants. This year, giving benefits to over 54,000 public servants across the board. But in 2015 and the successive years up to 2019, they give salary increases in different percentages. So the persons who are at the managerial level and tasked with leading the agencies were stifled.
According to the new local government minister, although salary increases were also offered by the former government, there were no additional improvements to the lives of public servants. She noted that under the current government, plans are being initiated to ensure that their skills are improved. The minister reported that since 2020, almost 5,000 public servants from government departments have received training, with hundreds more scheduled for training this year. Well, Opposition Member of Parliament and PNC Reform General Secretary Dawn Hastings-Williams has issued a call on the government to pay more attention to the developmental needs of the citizens of the hinterland communities. Hastings-Williams is from Region 7. During her budget debate contribution, the Member of Parliament said access to online education for persons in her region is a serious challenge. She also noted that professionals in the region who have applied to do online courses cannot do so successfully. Neither can they travel to Georgetown to pursue higher education, since that will also be expensive to do.
Mr. Speaker, I have spoken to teachers, nurses, and other workers in the hinterland who have applied to do online courses but have not been able to do so successfully due to the lack of connectivity. And the few who manage to commence are making sacrifice to buy megabytes from private satellite internet services in the communities. And many, Mr. Speaker, have lamented that they may not be able to continue or ever dream of completion due to the high cost.
The opposition MP said some relief was given to teachers when she made representation to the education minister, and teachers were brought out to complete their studies at the Cyril Potter College of Education. The Member of Parliament, who is also a teacher by profession, said the state of education in her region leaves much to be desired. She said while the previous APNU-AFC government built 6 primary schools across Region 7 in 3 years, the current government has not built any more. She said the lone secondary school in the region is plagued with water shortages and other challenges, which she hopes can be rectified soon. And on the question of housing, the opposition MP said while it has been noted that building in Region 7 is expensive, she believes that a housing program that was started by the former government in the region should be reintroduced. She said the budget should treat the housing needs of the region as a special case.
A call on this government to make Region 7 then a special case. Do a special study and let this budget find ways and means to cater for the people of the region, people of Region number 7. They are Guyanese too, and they are in the Essequibo. Please, I am asking, Essequibo is our own.
According to MP Hastings-Williams, residents of the communities across Region 7 are also hoping for a more stable water supply. A 60-year-old Essequibo businessman has been committed to stand trial in her high court for allegedly engaging in sexual activity with a child family member. The accused Hamichan Tekram was charged under the Sexual Offences Act. The alleged incident took place in September of 2022. Yesterday, the case was heard at the Anna Regina Magistrates Court, where Magistrate Esther Sam carried out a paper committal. The magistrate ruled that based on the statements and exhibits tendered before the court, there is enough evidence for the accused to stand trial at the next session of the City Supreme Court. In the meantime, bail was granted in the sum of $500,000.
Are you looking to start or advance your career with one or more of our world-class associate, bachelor, or master's degrees in 14 specializations from the comfort of your home worldwide? Then look no further than the University of Excellence Management in Business, UEMB. We are affordable, accessible, flexible, multi-world class, internationally accredited and recognized, and locally recognized by NAC Guyana as a tertiary degree granting college. For more details on our no strings attached to 60% scholarship and our payment plan, please call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 681-3434, or 618-3434. Visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College Front Building, Wolford Avenue, Georgetown, Guyana. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
Imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, South America is seeing a surge in cases of the mosquito-borne disease dengue during the Southern Hemisphere summer, prompting Brazil to roll out a novel vaccine campaign, while in Argentina, many stores have run out of bug spray. Reuters in a report said with 2023 already having set a record for dengue cases in the region, Argentina has seen a sharp spike in the disease that's endemic in much of Latin America. While often asymptomatic, dengue can be fatal. Brazil this month has started spraying insecticide from trucks as the disease ripped through previously unaffected regions, while hospitals in Paraguay have set up night clinics to attend to the sick due to elevated dengue activity. Argentina has recorded over 12,500 cases of the disease in the last month, according to the latest official health bulletin, a big jump versus the same period a year ago, leading to health warnings and shortages of insect repellent. In Brazil, where dengue is often called breakbone fever for the severe joint pain it causes, cases have more than doubled in the first week of January compared to the same period last year. Brazil will become the first country in the world to offer a dengue vaccine through the public health system, which officials said would begin within days. Antigua and Barbuda and China signed several cooperation agreements on Wednesday to further strengthen the level of relations between the two countries. The agreements were signed following Prime Minister Gaston Brown's meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Premier. A statement from the Prime Minister's office said the memorandums of understanding include agreements to address climate change under the framework of South-South cooperation, the formulation of the cooperation plan on the Belt and Road Initiative, and an agreement on mutual visa exemptions. Minister for Health, Wellness, Social Transformation and the Environment, Sir Mulwin Joseph, signed an MOU with Alibaba, Damo Academy and hospitals to receive equipment for early cancer screening and digital health and to provide doctors with AI-powered tools. Minister for Foreign Affairs, Agriculture, Trade and Barbuda Affairs, E.P. Chet Green, signed an agreement on a water rehabilitation project and for equipment to stem the imports of narcotics. Green also signed an agreement with the China Media Group to boost cooperation with the state-owned Antigua and Barbuda broadcasting services. And finally tonight, international news. Donald Trump leads Democratic President Joe Biden by 6 percentage points in a Reuters poll that showed Americans aren't happy about an election rematch that came into sharper focus this week. The nationwide poll of 1,250 U.S. adults showed Trump leading Biden 40% to 34%, with the rest unsure or planning to vote for someone else or no one. The poll had a margin error of 3 percentage points. That represented a gain for Trump after a Reuters poll conducted earlier this month showed him and Biden tied, though a nationwide survey does not capture the subtleties of the Electoral College contest that will be decided this fall in just a handful of competitive states. As Trump handily beat his sole remaining primary challenger, Nikki Haley, in New Hampshire on Tuesday, some 67% of respondents polled Monday through Wednesday said they were tired of seeing the same candidates in presidential elections and want someone new. Still, just 18% said they would not vote if Biden and Trump were their choice. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.